Hey everybody, it's Josh Olive here with Haven Comics. It is Thursday night, so time for some shop talk. Stick around after this, and we're gonna get right back to it. And we're back. Good to see you guys. Hope everybody has had a good week. Um, Made it through all the torrential rain. That's been the fun past couple of days. And we'll see if Alan is still here or if he floated away. Alan, are you with us? Oh no! Got himself the Daredevil mask.
So, a buddy of mine, I have been on him for months. It's the guy that I work with to make me a Daredevil mask on the 3D printer.
Yeah.
And I kept hearing all these excuses. And finally, he comes walking in today and he said, "This is what I've been able to do so far." I was like, "That's great. I know a guy that can paint it up for me." Tots, you're about to be up to bat. But he is looking next. He's got all the stuff to do it with, but he is fixing to make me a full-size one that will fit this big fat bald noggin of mine.
That's going to be a big helmet.
Oh, but yeah, that is he 3D printed that. So I mean it turned out great.
It did. That's awesome.
And if you hear a rumor that I tried to put this on both of my cats' heads, that rumor I will neither confirm nor deny.
Is that a life model decoy? Dude, I sometimes wear hats. I do. I just sometimes do that. It's all good.
Every once in a while he does something like that.
Kane, what's up? Have you, hey, Kane? Let us know if we need to come rescue you if you're still in the doghouse for what happened over Free Comic Book Day weekend. We won't go into any detail there, but you gotta watch out for germs, man. They make people sick.
Yeah, really.
So, Acres of Movies kicking us off with some questions already.
Honestly, I would probably go with Steven Spielberg.
Same.
Yeah, because the jump, and I would really and truly want to talk to him about the jump from Close Encounters of a Third Kind to Poltergeist. Those are radically different movies, radically different themes, and I would love to talk about how, because he had to have worked on both of them relatively close together, at least in his mind. And I would love to know what his thought process was on that.
I would also like to bring Frank Capra to this.
Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life. One other quick question here. Do you have a lot of back issues, and where do you store the ones that you're not selling, etc.? We do have a lot of back issues, and mostly wherever we can. We're pretty limited on space, but we do what we can. I do have something I want to show off tonight, if you will indulge me, Alan.
Oh, dude, what you got to do?
All right. I think you may want something like this, Alan, because this is pretty cool. I'm going to get serious here. Going to flip it around. Go for the rally cap. Here we go.
No, we're about to go over the top.
So, we have a customer at the shop who his wife does laser etching and things like that. So if you've got, liquor bottles that you want something etched onto, if you've got wood you want something etched onto, she does a lot of really cool stuff. Well, she started building these, and it's humongous. But she made this for me.
Oh. How much does she charge?
I don't know. They made this for me.
Well, you need to talk to her because the first thing that I thought of, and you're going to laugh and roll your eyes, but I really, really, really want the puzzle box from Hellraiser.
Oh, fair enough. But what you don't know about this is that this is in fact a D&D character sheet.
Nice.
And you say, well, how is that possible? It's got a magnetic latch here. So I'm going to open it up and try and show this off as best I can.
Oh, no, that's cool.
So your character sheet is here. And that's all dry erase. So you can write on there whatever, erase it, put something else in. You can also lift it out, and you've got all these compartments for miniatures, whatever, right? And there are magnets that hold this in here. If I can, I'm doing this at a really awkward angle, so I don't want to go. But then these over here are, there it is. Also 3 things for your equipment or what have you, right? For your character.
Yeah.
And there are these things up here where you can just slide this in. Of course, again, I'm doing it at a really awkward angle here.
Yeah.
And they stack up like that. And there's 3 of them. They stack in a row. And then when you do that, it leaves you a dice tray here for rolling your dice. This thing is wicked.
I bet she could make a killing selling those online.
It is awesome. It is so cool. It's big, I will say. It is sizable. So it is a little bit of a commitment to carry that around. But so very cool. And it looks incredible. I mean, it looks amazing. And she customized it with the name of the game I'm running at the store on Saturdays. So it's Crescentia. But the Tales of Crescentia. This is just incredible. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, that dragon is wicked looking.
And the mountains and the stars.
Oh, I just now noticed the mountains and stars.
Yeah. And trees, I guess, in front of the mountains. But how awesome is that? I mean, that is just awesome. Sick. Whatever her pricing is on this is going to be worth it because this is super cool. Really, really cool. This was very nice of them to make this for me. We do have their business card up at the shop. So if this is something you're interested in, please inquire because that is super cool. It's gorgeous. If you're going to play D&D and you want to walk in, strut in, and everybody else is putting their little character sheet down, and you just go, boom, with this bad boy.
How heavy is it?
It's really light, actually. It seems like it should be heavier.
Yeah.
You almost want it to be heavier, but then you're glad it's not because it is really sizable.
So if you just had to do a rough guesstimation, what would you say the dimensions are on that, just to give people an idea?
Let's see here. That's probably 12 by 14, 12 by 15, something like that. It's kind of
not bad.
It's an unusual, and then it's probably about 4 inches thick, 4 inches deep.
I mean, that's not bad at all, considering that if you're going over to somebody's house or you're going up to the shop or somewhere to play D&D, literally everything that you would need to carry with you fits in there.
Fits in here. Because the wood is so thin and lightweight, which I think is what you want, it does feel a little bit delicate. You want to be sure you don't just drop some stuff on top of this because you don't want to break it.
Yeah.
But holy smokes, this is super cool. And when you look at the design of it, the way that the the hinges work. I mean, it's all just wood cut so it interlocks together, and then it like a dowel is driven through there. Um, it's super cool. Very simple design, but really, really cool. So I just wanted to show that off a little bit so people know um, what kind of things are available that can make you stand out and make you look pretty awesome.
Why does that seem so dark? I'm with you. I'm not running off. I can hear every word you're saying. I'm trying to get this other lot.
um, 25 years, huh? That's a lot. So this is old man Logan, old man Josh. Well, get off my lawn, son. And then this is, yo, what's up, dude? That's interesting. Yes, James says that reverse cap just took 25 years off. I wish that were true, man. If you could wear a hat that would make you 25 years younger, that would be really nice. My knees would appreciate that.
Well, this may not make me look 25 years younger, but when the full size gets delivered to me, y'all will definitely know. I got to get with Tots to make sure that he can actually paint this, since it is made out of that material for 3D printing.
Tots is an engineer. I bet he can figure it out.
Oh, I'm sure he can. Yeah, we were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, so I've got this buddy of mine. He's real big into RPGs, and he gets all the miniatures, and he actually paints the miniatures to himself for himself. And the guy that made this was like, oh, yeah, he should be able to do that. That's going to look great. But then it's almost like, do I just want to get Tots to do like the red highlights so it looks like the current suit on Born Again Season 2?
I really like the suit on Season 2.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, have you finished Season 2? Are you caught up?
I have not had time. I'm down to the last episode. But there was another, like, I think it might have been a YouTube short or something where Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox are thanking everyone for watching Season 2. And Charlie Cox has got this big, massive beard. So it's like, we know where we're headed, and I'm so excited for Season 3. I can't see straight.
Well, you got to watch Season 2 first, because the ending of Season 2, holy smokes.
Apparently there's an end credit scene also.
I didn't see one, and I purposefully looked. So I'll go back and check again.
I could have sworn that there was one. I could have swore I saw something online about there being one.
It might be mid-credits, but I went and looked at the end, and I didn't see anything, because I just had this sneaking suspicion that maybe there would be.
Yeah.
But I'll go back and double-check just to be sure. But yeah, Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Let's put it this way. I got so excited, and I was so like pumped for more Daredevil that I just went back and started the Netflix series over again.
That Netflix series was so good.
There were little things I had forgotten, like the chemistry between Karen and Foggy in that first season.
Yeah.
You're like rooting for them to like forget Matt. She needs to be with Foggy because Foggy's cool. And they're actually really great together.
I mean, here's my thing. I know the history. I understand. I know the lore. I understand all of it. I know that Karen Page was really and truly, she was an integral part of Matt's love life for many years in the very beginning.
Yep.
But in my mind, it is him and Elektra. In my mind, even though they've kind of split them up in the comic books, and yes, there was definitely a till death do us part moment in the Zdarsky run. But to me, they're still married. They're still in love. They're still together. So when I watched the seasons, I watched Daredevil on Disney Plus, I'm like, okay, I've already been here and I've already experienced all this. I need him to be with Elektra now.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, there was something else I was going to tell you, and I forgot all about it. Oh, Speaking of comic books and how, certain things we just thoroughly believe in, you never did read that last issue of Superman, did you?
No, not yet.
So,
I'm trying to dig out of a hole of all the stuff that I have to read, not just the stuff you recommended. So I'm still not out of that hole yet.
well, there's in it, Superboy Prime actually works in a comic book store,
Makes
and the
total sense
owner,
for that character.
yep, and the owner is talking about how knowledgeable he is and how passionate he is, but he doesn't need to argue with customers. And then, but it flashes and it shows Superboy Prime like a little cut scene, and he's pointing at somebody, and he goes, "No, they were supposed to get married." And all I could do was bust out laughing when I read that, because I heard that argument so much.
That's hilarious.
So, speaking of arguing comics, do we want to talk comics or do we want to talk Batgirl, Oracle first?
Let's talk Batgirl and Oracle first, because that's been on my mind. With her, for anybody who's not paying attention to what's happening there with Batgirl right now, um, in DC, Batgirl is currently in the current issue of Batman, the Matt Fraction Batman, and they've also got a limited series where she goes to jail. Um, and so that got me thinking. She's had a long and tumultuous history, has Batgirl, and I was thinking we should talk about that. And then it occurred to me, the whole business with uh, how she was paralyzed, and then how she still maintained a role as a superhero uh, after that through the persona of Oracle and what she did. I liked her better as Oracle. Uh, and then so they fix everything and she's back to being Batgirl again. So I just thought it would be fun to kind of talk through that, see what your thoughts are. Um,
So, as far as the character Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, Oracle is concerned, um, I think everything, and I mean, we can go back several years on this, and this is just my own personal opinion, but I don't think anyone has captured that character the way Tom Taylor captured her in his Nightwing run.
100% agree.
I think that particular character, she was absolutely perfect. And the reason why I liked her so much during that run, and I still like her to this day, is because of that run.
Mm-hmm.
Was we literally had, during that Nightwing span by Tom Taylor, at home we had Barbara Gordon and Dick Grayson.
Yep.
When the moment called for, we had Oracle and Nightwing. And then when he got in over his head, we had Batgirl and Nightwing. So we got all three sides of her in one big massive run.
Yeah.
And I love the way that he did it.
Yep.
And I love the way that, because when they're during the beginning of his run, when they're first getting back together, it's almost like a will they or won't they type scenario.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you find out the next day, oh, they did.
Yes.
In one particular issue. And it was I think it was great the way he did it. I don't know if at least to me, I don't know if she really and truly works anymore without all three personas.
See, that's kind of where I'm at. The person that she became when she became Oracle just put her in such a different position. And I just thought there was something so inspiring about her. Like, I'm still going to do what I can. I can't go around and flip around buildings and swing on ropes and kick people in the head anymore. But that doesn't mean I can't do anything. I'm still going to do what I can. And I thought she was invaluable. And if you look at her, it's kind of like with Tony Stark, and he's got Jarvis in the suit now in the movies in the MCU.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that, but not just some random AI. This was a human being who knew what it was like to be out there, and who had that melancholy from missing that and being able to do that, but also has a conscience, right? And it's going to rein Batman in. And I thought there was just something really, really cool about the way that her character evolved and the way her character grew. Um, that made her really, really interesting. And I think you're right. I think it would be a disservice to eliminate the Oracle persona from her character, because that is as much a part of her as Batgirl or Barbara Gordon now.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Having all three of them kind of makes her uh, like that's unstoppable. She's the whole deal in one fell swoop, and I'm really impressed with her. And I think that's a really interesting take. And I think you're right. It's not an either or. It's both. But if you had to pick one era of Batgirl, either Batgirl or Oracle of Barbara Gordon, where would you fall? Where do you think she should be?
If I was forced to choose one, it would be Oracle.
Same.
And it to me, it would be Oracle just simply because as Oracle, yes, she knows how to handle the Bat family. She knows exactly which one each of them needs to hear, when they need to hear it in their
Yep.
ear.
Yep.
But she is really and truly one of only two people that can actually get through to Dick Grayson Nightwing when she needs to.
Yes.
And what's more importantly is when he needs her to.
Yeah.
And it was this. Alfred was the same way. Alfred was, when you go back and you read all that stuff, yes, Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne have this father-son dynamic that's never going to go away. I mean, they're father-son, they're partners, they do everything. Those two characters work well together in that dynamic, but Alfred was the only one that could really and truly get to Dick Grayson and be there for him when he needed him, just like Barbara Gordon or just like Oracle can.
I'm sure that I have said this on here before, so forgive me if I'm just repeating myself. But I've still got a bone to pick with DC about Alfred. This would be completely unknowable by people who are not retailers and who weren't on the threads at the time. But when that happened, when he was killed, uh, there existed at the time a DC retailer Facebook group, right? And some retailers got on there and were kind of like laying it into the representative from DC, saying, "Hey, man, if you had let us know that this was coming, we would have ordered more copies, right? This is a momentous event." And his response was, "If this was permanent, we would have told you. This isn't a big deal. This is just a little blip in the story. Don't fret about it." And then all these years later, he's still dead.
To me, coming from a reader's aspect, I'm glad we didn't know.
Well, no, you wouldn't want readers to know, but as retailers trying to sell the product, it would be helpful if we knew.
But unfortunately, you know how that is. If the retailers know, it's only a matter before their favorite customers know. It's only a matter of time, and then it's only a matter of time before it's all over online, and it's no longer shocking.
I don't know. That depends. I'm generally of the thought that if something big is going to happen, it helps with sales when everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
For example, in today's comic book market, there would be a black cover that just says "spoiler." Can't show you this image because it gives away what happens in the story. and they would make a big deal about how they're keeping it a secret, and they'll sell 30,000 copies of a book. Back in the day, you told people what was coming, and they all flocked to it. They sold million copies of Death of Superman because it was called Death of Superman.
Yep.
Everybody knew what was going to happen. And
But
you still wanted to read it because you had to see how are they going to do that.
But I also have to fall back on when we had the death of Superman storyline happen. Nothing like that had ever truly happened in comics before to one of the big characters. You know, it had happened multiple times, just not to what would be a quote unquote major mainstream character.
Yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from, but also I like to be shocked. I like to be surprised.
Yeah, for me, the shock and the surprise should be how do they do it?
Yeah.
Right. How well is it executed? It helps sales when people know what they're buying.
Speaking of that spoiler, G.I. Joe number 25. Have you seen what that's about?
No.
G.I. Joe 25 is literally G.I. Joe versus Night Force.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they are all into it. It's supposed to be the biggest thing to hit the Energon universe. And it's Joe's versus Joe's. Which to me, it kind of goes back to who Hawk really is.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
If you look at the covers, there is one cover that has massive spoiler. It's blacked out and it says spoiler across it. I bet 25 is when we get Snake Eyes.
Somebody who's a member of Night Force?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the first place my brain went when you first started talking about this.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. But the whole, to go back to what we were talking about, I definitely would have to, if I had to choose one, I'd have to go with Oracle.
Same.
But, and I guess it's just going to be a theme. I've always liked that dynamic between Dick and Barbara.
Yes.
And I think that dynamic works better when she's Oracle. Because when she's Batgirl, she's just out there saving his ass. Let's just be honest about it.
Yep.
So, but when she's Oracle, she's actually in his head. She's a part of it with him. And I've just always liked that dynamic between those two.
This is true.
What is true? The text message we just got or what I just said?
What you said. The text message we just got is rude.
I'm still proud of you, Nick. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
All right, let's talk some comics.
I think we should talk some comics. You kick it off, and then I'll follow up with mine. How about that?
All right, I'm actually just going to start with some free comic book day stuff. One, I did pick up the Planet of the Apes, Aliens, and Predator, which was really fun having all three. And then there's actually a little bonus in the back of it for an upcoming, well, it's not technically a bonus, but an upcoming book that is Predator versus Planet of the Apes that looks like it's going to be really fun.
Hang on, there's a comment here. G.I. Joe ruined the Energon universe. How? I'm going to need some explanation to go with that.
Yeah, I'm going to need I don't want an explanation. I just think we need to meet at the shop and fight it out in the parking lot. Wrong. But yeah, if I noticed that there was a good stack of these. I think people just kind of passed them by, but it was really good.
It was a joke. Now, come on now. That's the kind of thing you say, and now I'm suddenly interested. Like, how? I got to know.
That's not funny.
That's not funny. That hurt my
funny.
feelings. That made me think.
Next up, if you picked up Flash Gordon and you have not read it, honestly, what they did was this was kind of a big snippet of Jeremy Adams' Flash Gordon #1 that come out a couple of years ago. That's exactly what this story is. It's just the black and white version of it, which I'm not going to complain because any Jeremy Adams comic book is a great comic book.
Why haven't we had him on the show yet, Alan?
I know. Some of these people is just impossible to get in touch with. I did have to pick this one up mainly because I wanted to read the interview with Mark, which is pretty much the majority of this.
Yep.
And then I know that it was only 3, but I did have to sneak a 4th because
you're all right.
But I've been dying to find out what this is about. I read it. I wished I'd have never picked it up because I fell in love with it.
It must have been Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Nope. You and I have talked about it, and I'm here to ask you right now. If you can order the trade for Volume 1.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to read Volume 1 of this. Did you read this?
Not yet.
It's different.
I flipped through it, and the Mike Deodato Jr. art is, as always, exquisite.
Oh, it's beautiful artwork. I mean, to give y'all an idea, that's it. That's literally the artwork throughout the entire thing. Exquisite. I love what they've done with like the Scarecrow, the Cowardly Lion, and the Tin Man. Glinda, there's even like a couple of little funny things in there. Like the wizard really and truly did not want anyone that could challenge his authority. So he made everyone in the Emerald City's army a general. So they would constantly be locked in a deadlock argument. And they could never agree on anything. In the army, there's only one guy in the army, and he's been a private for the past 70 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. And I know this is the beginning of Volume 2. And there is a QR code in here where you can order it from, you can order Volume 1 and pre-order Volume 2 from AWA's website, but I don't like doing that.
Nope.
So if you can actually order Volume 1 in the trade, I would love to have a copy of it.
Yep.
And then I don't have a ton of books, but we will go with I did pick up Zatanna issue #1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure how I felt about it. There was nothing stand out about it. I mean, it was just kind of decent up until the halfway point, and then it got interesting. But nothing that made me go, oh, crap, I got to have more of that. Really good looking art, interesting concept. From the looks of it, the vast majority of this series will not take place on Earth. It'll take place in like the magical realm. But it did have some really cool art in it.
Interesting.
So it's one of those I'll probably read like the first story arc and then make my decision.
Fair enough.
Which, I mean, surprise, surprise, Flash Gordon Quarterly. I love Flash Gordon Quarterly because it is like these one-shot stories. Even though this one was kind of a big one, so there might be a second to this one. And I did want to ask you about Viking Moon issue 3.
So good.
Because it's been, we had that big gap in between issue 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And I kind of forgot, without actually digging out issues 1 and 2, who was Longnon? Because they figured out that Longnon was actually the werewolf that protected her.
Oh, that's the young Indian kid for that she sees in the first issue.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, now I'm with you. I love that back, by the way. That's the back cover.
Oh yeah, I've actually tried to get that art from the artist. I want the original art for that.
But if you're not reading this, you're kind of missing out. It's a really good story. It's a great book. It's got beautiful art in it. Um, to kind of let me find a
I
like
mean,
that'll
it's
give y'all an idea.
it's werewolves and Vikings, and who doesn't need that in their life? I mean, that's amazing.
And to be honest, it's only going to be 5 issues, but
Yep.
werewolves and Vikings, you really and truly don't have to go that in depth of a story. That story just kind of tells itself.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I think Joe Pruitt's doing a great job with giving us enough story to let us know why they're fighting.
Yeah.
So I did like that. Another one, this was, and I still think that yes, they did learn their lesson. And that was the Firefly silent issue. It was fun, and at just about the, have you read it yet?
Yes.
At just about the point that you're wondering, why is he doing all this?
Yeah.
Boom, it happens, and you find out why.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good job on their part.
That I thought uh, for the Cobra ones, the stories are much better than they were for the GI Joe ones last year. The art is much better.
Yep.
The Crimson Guard one's still the best one, just from a story perspective. I thought that was brilliant. And I thought it was such an odd choice when they did it. I'm like, that's not a named character. There's a million Crimson Guards. Like, what the heck? But the way when it all is spelled out, it's really fantastically done. I did read the Copperhead one too, which you were so right.
It's just fun.
And you didn't tell me that Zanzibar was in there.
Well, I don't want to tell you. You hadn't read it yet, so I didn't want to tell you everything.
Zanzibar is one of my favorite ones of the Dreadnoks. I've always loved that guy because he just looks like a pirate. And for Zanzibar to be in there, it's like, this is awesome.
But that whole issue was like you were just hanging out with Copperhead for the night.
Yeah, and it showed some humanity in him too, like that scene where it's just this one little cutaway panel where he's just sitting there like this with his head in his hands, like, oh man, what have I done? What's going on? I just thought that was really great. You know, it's not just I'm here to beat people up, and it showed some humanity in the character, which I thought was really interesting.
Speaking of humanity in the character, this was really good. I'm glad we got this, but I was not expecting this. I should have known better considering where it's coming from or the universe that it's coming from. But I was not expecting the Masked Vigilante one shot to be as brutal as it is.
Oh, that one is brutal.
I mean, if you just want unadulterated violence with very little story, oh, this is the book for you.
And it feels so straight out of the 90s.
And the bad
it is so like everybody is dark and gritty 90s book, and it just feels like Tyler Kirkham went back in a time machine to 1992, which is 20 years ago, and never any further away than 20 years ago. I have decreed it. It is so. He went back 20 years to 1992 and was like, what's really making these comics tick? This is a hoot. I'm going to do a comic like that in the future. And that's what it feels like. And it is so much fun. I have enjoyed the Final Boss books quite a lot. It's like going to the ultimate popcorn movie in the summer. You don't have to think real hard. You just watch how it unfolds and you're like, yes, that was great.
But and maybe it was just me, but when I finished the book, I kind of chuckled to myself just a little bit and thought, I know even less about this character now.
Yes, I agree.
I literally just read a book that the character is in almost every single panel.
Yep.
And I know less about the character now.
Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment, really.
Yeah, it really is. But this is a cool cover. I do have to admit. I like this cover.
It's a great cover.
Yeah. Next up, and I am kind of curious if anybody else is reading these. I know somebody somewhere is reading them because they keep printing them. but like at the shop. Am I the only person that's reading that? But I did pick up Elric, the Sleeping Sorceress.
No, we have a few other people reading that.
Okay, this one is, yeah, this is going to be good. It's going to be good, 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 good. If you're into the Michael Moorcock Eternal Champions stories, you know, those were actually a book series that came out, I believe, in the 80s.
Yep.
Maybe even started in the late 70s.
Yeah. Wow.
But Elric was one of the more popular characters from that series.
Yep.
And they don't do, Elric is not an ongoing title. We might get like 3 or 4 issues, maybe once a year now.
That's about right.
So, and they're always fun, but this one, the way this one ended, it's got a chance to be like brutal fun. Now, a book that I've purposely been waiting for to the very end, because you saw this in my stack Saturday and you were like, what was that? What it ends up being then, this is actually a reprint of a comic book that came out in like 2009, 2010 timeframe. And it was a Brave and the Bold comic, Green Lantern, Dr. Fate.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all like these types of characters, that's great. Pick it up. If you want a really good story, pick this book up. I have never read this story before. It was cool because you see like some advertisements from like 2009 in here.
It was great to see you too. Thank you for coming by for Free Comic Book Day.
Hey Grace, but the whole premise of the story is something just kind of wrapped up, and Dr. Fate, Kent Nelson, is basically, hey, I need some time. So he flies up into space, and he's kind of just hanging out in space, watching over the Earth, and Green Lantern appears beside him. So Green Lantern they talk for a minute. He's actually on his way to Oa, and basically Dr. Fate thanks him for always being his friend. They shake hands, and it zooms in on the power ring when they shake hands. Well, then it fast forwards, and then it says a long time later, Green Lantern is on basically an uncharted planet because he was just wanting to check it out, gets attacked, and is almost on his deathbed. And it's Hal Jordan Green Lantern, by the way, if I didn't make that clear earlier. But the ring is depleting its power extremely fast because it's having to keep him alive. And he's been wounded, everything else. And he asked the ring, is there another power source on this planet? And the ring says, yes, within me. And Green Lantern is like, what? Show me. Well, all of a sudden, Dr. Fate comes out of the ring. But it's what it is, and naturally Green Lantern is like, how did you pull this off? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And he says, oh, I did this. This is actually just a fraction of myself. They call this vanity, but I wanted to see what's going to happen in the future to basically see if I'm needed. Well, and when they shook hands, that's when he put that fraction of his power into it.
It's a Horcrux. Got it.
Yeah, but here's where the heartbreak comes in. Green Lantern goes, oh my God, you're Kent Nelson. And Fate is like, yeah. And Green Lantern goes, brother, you've been dead for years.
Oh, dang.
And dude, it is like heartbreaking from that moment on, because the whole gist of it is something happened with Kent Nelson and his wife, and they started rapidly aging. And they basically died. They aged themselves to death. They ended up disappearing and turning into nothing.
Because they chose poorly.
Do what?
So they chose poorly.
Yes, they did. But the whole thing in this book is, even Kent Nelson is like, well, that's fine. It is what it is. I'm going to help you get out of here. And he's like, No, wait a minute. Maybe the part of you that will save you.
That's awesome.
That is cool. Maybe the part that actually saves you and your wife is this part here that you broke off. You can go back to yourself, back to that time when you split off, because you said you were going to return to that moment. You can save yourself. And fate says, no, I can't, because if I save myself, you die. So, and it's basically the rest of the comic is an argument where Green Lantern feels like there's a choice and fate feels like there is no choice. And at one of the coolest parts, though, at one point, is fate is getting ready to save Green Lantern. He's going to basically use the last of his power to shoot him as far as he possibly can to Oa. And that's going to save him. He literally rises up in the air, and you've got that pose that fate always does.
Yeah.
He reaches up and he takes his helmet off so Green Lantern can actually see him for one final conversation. And you're just kind of like, you son of a...
I was reading this for fun, not to break my heart.
I picked this up. This is why I love Dr. Fate. But when you read it, the whole look who wrote it, all of it makes sense. J. Michael Straczynski.
Yeah.
But if you can order a copy of this, I promise you would love this book. It's
that's not when you're going to be able to order. That's when you're going to have to find.
Yeah, it's almost what you're really and truly getting is it feels like, especially since it came out, 16 years ago, basically.
Yep.
It feels like you're getting a lost Kent Nelson adventure.
Yeah.
So, but then it's after that thing disappears, what's left of his power disappears. It flashes back to the moment of when Green Lantern and him shook hands and Green Lantern flew off. And Kent Nelson goes, I should have already been back by now. It's been an hour.
Oh, man.
And then how was it? He put it? It was like one more gut punch. And then the comic ended. It says, this is how it ends. This is literally the last page in the book is him flying. But it says, I live today, I die tomorrow, and in between joy. Not a bad deal, really, if you think about it. Not bad at all. I'm sitting there reading this book, and I'm like, this is not how I was supposed to spend the night.
No.
So good. So if anybody can find a copy of this and you like these types of stories, I promise you would love it. It came out last week. So if there's a copy on the shelf at your LCS, I highly suggest grabbing this book. It was so good.
That's remarkable.
This will be one of the few books that gets bagged and boarded and actually put away properly.
Fair enough.
So, but that was it. That was all of my stuff for the week.
Now it's my turn.
Let's do it.
First off, If Destruction Be Our Lot by Matt Rosenberg. We've had him on the show. I messaged him after I read this, and I was like, dude, we're going to have to have you come back on the show to talk about this. Because this is bizarre and remarkable and has little moments of heartstring tugs, right? This is a dystopian future, presumably post-apocalyptic. The main character of this book is an audio animatronic of Abraham Lincoln. Presumably one from like Disneyland, where he stands up and he does the great moments with Mr. Lincoln, and he'd give speeches and whatnot. Um, but he lives in this world where it's only robots and machines. Um, and they all still do their jobs. Like there's this machine that is supposed to make food, and it hasn't made food for anybody in a really long time. It says it by number of days, and it was a really long time. Um, but it still asks, like, "Would you like breakfast? Would you?" And there's nobody to eat breakfast, but it wants to know. There's still robots that drive buses, and they just keep driving their bus route, even though there are no passengers to pick up anymore.
That sounds like a Twilight Zone episode.
Things like that. It feels very much like that. And here's the funny thing: all of the robots don't like Abraham Lincoln because he looks human, and they just call him fake human.
Okay.
Right. Well, as you get into the book a little ways and you kind of start figuring out what's going on and what the world looks like, there is a they keep trying to send him to maintenance, by the way, which means they're going to disassemble. No disassemble. But he gets to the edge of town, and there's this big grid glowing thing, some wall. It's like the whole place is inside this big geodesic dome, right? Well, he ends up just really frustrated, and he throws this robotic skull or a head that he finds laying on the ground into this wall and breaks through it. And he's like, there is something on the other side of the wall. Oh my goodness. So he goes out beyond the wall to examine it and to see if there's a world where, it's not just this ridiculousness that they live in. And it's what happens after that. But yes, the main character is an audio animatronic Abraham Lincoln, which is absolutely bizarre and yet completely awesome.
How's the art in it?
Very suitable to the story. I'm going to get one that doesn't give away the big. Well, I think you go to the very first page where he's just kind of sitting there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very suitable to the story. Kind of cartoony a little bit, but a lot of the robot designs just kind of are goofy looking. Like the robot that wants to serve you breakfast every day is kind of shaped like an egg. You're like, all right, I get it. And then there's this big, when you have to be recycled or whatever, there's this big weird monster thing that just eats you, and that's it. And then you've recycled and get spit out. But nobody wants to be caught by that thing. No, I don't need maintenance. That's okay. Just absolutely strange and bizarre, this book, but what a great read. What a fantastic read. And it's an oversized book, too. It's not your standard 22 pages or whatever. It's much bigger. He wanted to really let it cook a little bit, and he did. But I highly recommend this. I think, Alan, you particularly will really enjoy this.
Let's check it out.
But really, really recommend this book. Fantastic read. And Matt Rosenberg is a great guy. He's been on the show a couple of times. Support people like that. We want to support them. I did finally get to read this. That was a lot of fun. That was just a fun book. The silent issues from G.I. Joe have been good. This is the cover that prompted me to ask the question about Oracle and Batgirl. And this one is the predecessor. This is what leads into Barbara Gordon going to jail. And it's a 5-issue limited series called Barbara Gordon Breakout. But this is what leads to her going to jail.
And see, and I think that it's a perfect time for this because she has not really and truly been. The last issue of Nightwing she was in was the finale for Cirque du Sin.
Yeah.
And because I mean, and I could be wrong in the way I look at it, but Nightwing is just as much her book as it is his.
It should be, yeah.
So it's just he's got top billing. So with her being absent, this whole highway bridge storyline that we've been getting, it
Yeah.
makes sense that she shows up in Gotham now.
Yeah, so I think it would be good for her to have her own title again, because Batgirl of late has been Cassandra Cain, right?
Yeah.
And she's been running around in Birds of Prey and all that kind of stuff, but not my favorite. She's just a very different character. Like they kind of tried to make her like, what if Batman and Snake Eyes had a daughter? Is kind of what they tried to make her, and for me, she never worked in either one of those roles. We'll see. But who's the?
Oh, who do you think it is?
Of course it is. Why would it be anybody else? Let's see what's going on. He can't get on here and watch the show, but he's gonna text us during the show. I see how it is.
Oh, okay. That's a you question.
It is. I believe it's still available. Storm has had a couple of miniseries of late, and I don't know if that's the current one or the previous one. But yes, I haven't had a chance to read this one yet. Red Roots.
I've heard a lot of people online praising it.
Everybody is talking about it. Yeah. I liked the synopsis when I first read it 3 months ago and went to order it. But I wanted to read it then. But I don't know. I mean, how would you feel if things were getting kind of weird and you discovered somebody's head, just their head, and you're like, well, that's not good. And then that head started talking to you.
I would probably have to check in somewhere.
And then you started finding other heads and they're all talking to you.
So, like, I don't even know what the synopsis is. I mean, it sounds kind of like it's a play off the whole eight heads in a duffel bag.
A little bit. And why are their heads talking to you? What's going on with that? Yeah, there's this whole supernatural element for sure. Yeah, it's kind of got a little bit of a feel of Stranger Things to it, just a smidge.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I'm looking forward to digging in and getting to read that. We sold out of this one super fast.
Oh, yeah, that's
surprised me a little bit because Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee have really trying to think of a polite way to say this. Hush 2 was ill-advised. It was a bad idea. Nobody really wanted it. They tried to make everybody want it. People said, okay, I'll try it. And then people dropped it like a hot rock. And then it's taken forever. And I understand the medical things that he's dealing with and such, but it's taken forever for that whole thing to come out. And retailers all predicted it was going to be late anyway. Because Jim Lee hasn't done a regular interiors on a book in a really long time. And his artwork is stunning, but it takes time. And the fact that they did not have it completed before they solicited it was problematic. And Jim Lee has said that he will not do that again. Anything he ever does again, it will be complete before they ever solicit it. But this is written by Jeff Loeb, art by Jim Chung, and that's the real reason I wanted to pick it up is because I really like Jim Chung's art. But this quote on the back from Batman, I like.
See, that's like that's a threat.
Yeah.
No matter which way you look at it, that's a threat coming from him.
Oh, it absolutely is. But yeah, it's Batman and Wonder Woman. It's in the same world as Hush. That
You're
story.
blurry.
Um, so oh, yeah, I went all blurrified. But yeah, it's the same world as Hush. But Jim Chung does a great job. The artwork in this book is actually pretty stunning. Um,
Yeah, I wanted to read Hush 2 when it was announced, but there was always this little thing in the back of my mind that was going, don't do this. Hush was almost a perfect story.
yep,
And honestly, at this point, I think it's probably I think it had become like a sacred story. And it
I
was
get
like,
what you mean. Yeah,
if you revisit this, you may ruin that.
yeah.
That's a fun issue.
That Brad Meltzer story.
Told you.
Good Lord. Who was expecting that? I can't believe that DC said, yeah, that's okay. You can do that. I mean, was the pitch, I mean, this has been out for a few weeks now. So, was the pitch, hey guys, what if we venomize Superman? Like, get out. Are you serious?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm tired of Venom. I've
Oh,
been
I'm
tired
sick
of,
and tired of Venom. I have been for years. I hate Venom.
but seeing that in the story, that was kind of cool. I have to admit.
I think Venom is like pepper, right? Small doses are good.
Yeah.
Um, a big old plate of nothing but is miserable and terrible. Um, last issue started a kind of new arc for Detective, in which it's not just Detective; it's the trifecta of Batman, Green Arrow, and Black Canary. Dude, I don't know what it is about that particular like trinity there, but that makes for a fun read. This is so good. If you're not reading Detective, you are missing out.
I may have to pick it up again. I'd actually dropped Detective a while back.
I know you did. I know you did, but it is a really fun read. And they just work interestingly together. Um, and one thing I never thought of, I've never seen Black Canary unleash her sonic scream underwater.
Okay.
It's just interesting. Like, who would have thought? But yeah, it's cool. But no, it's a really solid book. It's really, really good. Having the three of them all working together. I haven't gotten to read this one yet, but since we had Paul Jenkins on the show, I'm really wanting to savor this one. Just kind of sit down and savor this one because Century number one was really good, and
Yeah.
Century number two, and he flat told us like by the time you get to the end, when you get to Century number four, Century number five, you're gonna. He said, I think that's really something special, and he doesn't just say stuff like that. I've talked to him about a lot of comics, and I've watched a lot of interviews with him. He doesn't just say that about everything. I think he knows that he's got something here. But I really love the juxtaposition between this cover with the hand, the way that it's lighting up like that,
Yeah.
versus I think there's an image of it in here. First, yeah, here we go. The cover of the first issue where the hand was nothing but blackness covering his face.
Yep.
That's just really clever. I like that. Um, just really, really cool. Let's see. Absolute Superman continues to be a spectacular book, and somehow it flies under the radar. I'm not even sure how.
I think it's just so over. In fact, I think the entire Absolute line is so overshadowed by Absolute Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, when they first started talking about this Absolute universe, and we were talking about it on this show, if you go back and watch those episodes, we never would have imagined that Absolute Batman would have turned into this monster comic that it has turned into.
Yeah, fair enough. Speaking of which, well, remind me of Absolute Batman in just a second. This piece of art was something that uh, Eastman discovered. Like, oh, here's a piece I dug up from like 1984. Totally forgot about it. So this is a brand new piece of art from TMNT on this cover
That's cool.
that has not been published before. I just thought that was amazing.
We need to get a copy of that to Dustin.
We do. Still really enjoying this magazine. Uh, it's just fun. It's fun to have a magazine about comics and to be able to jump in and read it. It's just fun. I've been enjoying it quite a lot. Um, hope you guys have too. I think in 2 issues, this is number 3. I think issue number 5 is going to be a good one for us locally. I'll just leave it at that. I haven't got to read this one yet, but I can't wait. I am excited.
If anybody, look, I have tried and I've done everything I could to get in touch with that woman. If anybody knows how to get in touch with Stephanie Phillips, please tell her that we would love to talk to her on this show.
We would so very much love to talk to her on this show. Again, I haven't got to read this one yet either, but I am looking forward to it. I've always been a sucker for a good war comic, and Dog Tag looks like a good World War II book.
And it's a Mad Cave book, so.
Yeah. And this just came out this week. Haven't got a chance to read it either, but Moon Knight number 4, yeah.
Did you read issue 3 yet?
It's in my pile here, but no. So I just skipped over it because I knew that one had been out for a minute. And then this, of course, the reprint, the Larry Hama edition.
Yep.
And I really liked, it's kind of his philosophy on storytelling, which I think I can summarize it a little bit by saying, what does it say? He said, if I know how a story ends when I first put pen to paper, then there's nothing natural about the plot. It's just me choreographing how they get from A to B to C, right? And he says, I don't like to do that. I like for the characters to figure things out and figure out how to get out of things. And he brings up this particular issue as a case in point, because this issue ends with Snake Eyes, Quinn the Hunter, and Dr. Venom trapped in a bunker underwater in a river. And he's like, I had no idea how they were going to get out of there. So to have that like knowledge, like he didn't know, he didn't go into it going, oh, I got a cool idea, this is gonna be great. He's like, I just put them in a situation and see what they do, and see how that works.
That's a cool way to write it.
It's a really cool way to write. He said, the characters have to resolve the issue, not me. And I thought that was really cool. Right? It's kind of like a role-playing game.
Yeah.
It's the way I do it anyway, is I create the world and I set things up and I put things in motion and I put the players into a scenario or a situation, and then they figure out how to get out of it. And that alters where it goes from there. It alters events in the world. But I don't dictate how they get into or out of situations. If they go to a place and they do, behave a certain way, treat people a certain way, then they're going to get one response. If they treat people a different way, they'll get a different response. And whatever situation they end up in, they figure out how to get out of it. I don't do that. And it sounds like he does the same thing, but he's playing all the characters. But he puts himself into their shoes and says, well, how would this work? How would that work? And that's just fascinating.
I bet he has some interesting conversations in his head.
He absolutely has to. And I'm desperate to talk to him about that at FarleyCon.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to say that was awesome to me. I'm so appreciative that they're doing this, by the way. It's putting old issues of G.I. Joe back in people's hands, and it's giving them some insight into his thought process and storytelling. It's brilliant, and that makes me quite happy. I
I
really,
mean,
really love it.
I understand why he does not do like podcast and doesn't do a
Sure.
ton of interviews. I get it. And honestly, I'm kind of as heartbreaking as it is, I'm glad he's never been on the show
Yeah, I'm with you.
because it's made the actual interactions that we've had with him that more special.
Hmm.
So yeah, I cannot wait till FarleyCon. You said something about remind you about Absolute Batman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Scott Snyder and Matt Fraction were talking recently, and they had an idea, and they said, "Why don't we do this? This sounds like fun."
Mm,
So here's what they're going to do. Kind of what we just talked about, actually. They're going to put Batman and Absolute Batman in the same pickle. They're going to present them the same problem and see how the two different versions of Batman solve the issue.
they've got to have a third person pick what the problem is.
That would probably be helpful. Um, but that sounds so much fun to me, right? Whatever the scenario is, whatever the thing is they're facing, I'm really anxious to see how does Absolute Batman solve it versus how does Batman solve it.
Eh,
Really, really cool.
Call me crazy, but either Josh Williamson or Tom King should come up with the scenario, and it's up to Snyder and Faction to figure it out.
I'll be honest with you, I would rather of those two, I'd rather it be Tom King. Because Tom King is good at coming up with things that put you in a moral quandary.
Yep.
And the way Tom King teases those out is these long, drawn out ways of resolving those kind of things, right? I would love to see him create the moral quandary, but then see how these other guys resolve it for those characters. Oh, good
I
Lord.
I get that, and I think that would be great. But the reason why but take all the time you need.
I'm just trying to picture what an absolute plastic man would look like. He's probably super serious, right? He's like, I weeble and I wobble, but I don't fall down. I don't know. He just strikes me as I bet he's super serious or super, super heinous and disgusting.
Well, the reason why I say Josh Williamson is because he is really good at putting something like a small clue in there that everybody glosses over, and then later on down the road something happens and you're like, oh, wait a minute. So it would force those two to analyze every single aspect of the situation that their versions of Batman are in.
That's fair. That's fair.
I did get a little news thing.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
While you were talking. So I was going to read this right quick because it sounds kind of interesting.
Okay.
And when I say I got it, I mean I got it like within the past 20 minutes. It says Marvel officially teased Midnight, a new horror-focused publishing line on May 7th, 2026, marking a major shift towards supernatural and darker storytelling. Billed as a terrifying new universe, the line is scheduled to launch fall of 2026, just in time for Halloween. Says key details and creative direction. The tagline is the announcement featured the ominous phase, the light had its turn, suggesting a departure from traditional bright superheroes into unsettling nihilistic narratives. Creative powerhouse. Reports from sources like Bleeding Cool indicates that top-tier creators, including Jonathan Hickman, Philip Kennedy Johnson, and Benjamin Percy, are leading the rollout. It's going to be a Vertigo approach. The line is being compared to DC's Vertigo imprint and its recent Absolute Universe, focusing on radical reimagining and mature red band style violence and horror. They do not need to go back to that red band horse crap. It says alternate universe status. Unlike most horror books that exist within the main Earth 616 continuity, Midnight is expected to be a standalone alternate universe, allowing creators to take extreme risks with established characters. There is an anticipated roster. There's been, and I'm going to kind of start skimming now. There's been a bunch of heavy references to Midnight Suns, which it should, if they're going to do something like this. We're looking at Blade, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, and Morbius. They're going to rework Dracula, Werewolf by Night, Elsa Bloodstone, and the Darkhold. And there are potential tie-ins and a connection to the ongoing Queen in Black storyline.
No.
And various magical students from Strange Academy. Says more details and series titles and creative teams are expected to be unveiled by Marvel Comics in the coming week.
Sounds like they said, what if we take the absolute universe and mix it with a dark horror universe, put those together with the Marvel superheroes, and voila.
Yeah, and they need to stay away from the Red Band stuff because there was nothing special about Red Band at
everybody's
all.
time and money.
Yeah.
Red Band did not work. Marvel, do not come back to that. Also, that list of writers, not exactly a real list of powerhouse writers. And there's no fresh blood there.
Acres, I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to answer that question because to me, a great splash page has to fit the story. If it's a splash page just for the sake of a splash page, I could care less. But if it's like a momentous moment in the comic, yeah, and it could literally just come down to the story itself. Yes, Scooby 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo approach would work.
Who would I cast as Jim Henson for a biopic? That's a good question. Who would be a good Jim Henson?
He's already done one biopic of a famous person, but just because he kind of has, there's still that, and we haven't seen it in a long time, but there is still definitely a quirky side to him. I would actually, believe it or not, say Ashton Kutcher. He could still be fun and quirky.
He could pull off the look pretty well too, I think. That's a good pull. Yeah. For live action Nightmare Before Christmas. Well, gee, if it's still going to be shot and produced by the same guy, then clearly that's just going to be Johnny Depp and what's her face, because he cast them in everything. What's her name? Why is that? She was in Fight Club. She was in the Harry Potter movies.
Helena Bonham Carter.
Helena Bonham Carter. Yeah.
I'm trying to pull the picture up right now because y'all are not going to understand why I'm saying this person until y'all see this one picture.
Deborah Ann Woll would make an amazing Sally.
Why are you? It just keeps taking me to like this. There's only one
That's
person.
true, James. A live action Nightmare Before Christmas is just a straight up horror movie. That's true.
Yep. There is only one person that would ever be able to properly play the mayor, and we will never see it. It will never happen, which is absolutely heartbreaking. And I'm about to show you who that person is right now.
Boss Hogg.
No. Come on. Share screen.
I think to play Jack Skellington, you'd have to have, what's the guy's name? Jones. I was close.
It's the only man that would ever be able to play him.
That's true. I see that. But the guy to play Jack Skellington would have to be, what's his name, Doug Jones, the guy who plays all the he's the super skinny guy that plays all the critters.
Oh yeah,
He would be perfect for Jack. And I
yeah.
think Deborah Ann Woll would make an incredible Sally. But who would play Oogie Boogie? I'm going to be honest here. I kind of want Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, crap. What is his name? His name, Anthony Anderson.
Who is that?
You would know him if you saw him. Hang on a minute. I'm going to find
I'm
out.
not seeing him, so that's not helping me.
You're about to see him. He's done serious. He's done comedy. He's a great comedian. Or a great comedic style. I don't think he really and truly.
Oh no, I do like him. I know exactly who that is. Yeah, he was on Blackish. He was on Lord, what's the SVU? Law and Order SVU.
Yep.
He's been on all kinds of stuff. No, I do like him. I like him a lot. I just couldn't place his name.
Or I cannot think of his last name, but his first name is Craig. He was in crap. You know what? He was in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, I love that dude.
Yes.
Love that guy. He's hilarious.
I cannot think of his last name, but
and he can sing too, so he could lay down some notes for Oogie Boogie.
God, have you seen that clip of him on the Tonight Show where
Probably
he is playing the piano and he's doing "If You're Happy and You Know It"?
No, I've not seen that.
Oh my God, he starts playing it and the people clap and he stops and he starts smiling at them. So he starts getting more into it and they're clapping. Well, then he goes to the second verse and where it should be, "If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet."
Yeah.
Everybody claps and he like slams his hands on the piano and he goes, "It's stomp your feet, mother." And they're like, Craig. And he goes, "What?" Like he didn't even know what happened.
Yeah. That's funny.
So funny.
That's what. No, I do. I like him a lot. He would be a really good Oogie Boogie. He could lay it down. No, that'd be great.
Yeah, and I loved him in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Now that I think about it, I almost hesitate to say this because I think it would just be funny. But I can kind of see Dave Chappelle playing Jack too. I can kind of see it. Better horror movie, Child's Play 3 or Nightmare 5?
I'm going to go with a tie for dead last because I was not a fan of either one of those. I mean, Nightmare 5, yeah. That one was what, Dream Master?
It's inherently better than anything Child's Play.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the first Child's Play was the only good one they ever did. I just didn't like any of them afterwards. I thought they just kind of turned really dumb really quick. Out of the Nightmare movies, I enjoyed all of them except for issue 2 because I thought our main guy that was being haunted was just a biot, and I hated him. So, but I believe 5 was that Dream Master? I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Quick hot take from you, Alan. So don't think about it, just react. Are you going to go see the new Masters of the Universe movie?
Yes. I think it looks really good. I'm glad that they went with a relative no name for He-Man. Easy. But yes, I do plan on going to see that, and I do plan on going to see Mandalorian and Grogu.
You know what this sounds like, Alan?
I'm gonna be spending some time at the movies this summer, probably.
Sounds like you and me are gonna have to sit at the movie theater together a little bit.
Yep. And believe it or not, the Bug and I have already talked about it. When they re-release Endgame,
yeah,
we are going to see it, because to me, that is a movie that must be experienced on the big screen.
Oh, 100%.
And plus, they said that they've changed a few things in it to fit what's coming with Doomsday.
I think that's a bad move.
I think it is too.
Like, you don't retcon something like that. You make what's new fit what you already did, right? You don't retcon this beautiful gleaming city on the hill because you built this thing over here. Like, no, that's not a good idea. I don't approve of that.
Well, I think they kind of messed up by introducing the multiverse.
Had they just kind of touched on it and let it go,
Yeah.
but they didn't. They were like, let's wallow in this. And yeah, I think that was problematic.
Yeah, because the multiverse, it's bad enough that you've already introduced time travel. I'm not a big fan of time travel in these type movies, because time travel is the ultimate mulligan. It's the ultimate do-over, and it always ends up becoming a scapegoat on some level. Now, for Endgame, it was truly needed. Yeah, I mean it actually worked for that movie. But when you start introducing,
and it set up the perfect ending for a character that I wish didn't end, but if it was going to end, it was perfect.
Now, I am a little excited, because I do want to see how they're going to do this Nomad version of Captain America.
Agreed.
Because I mean, we're getting long-haired Captain America. That's obviously what we're getting, is Nomad.
Yep.
Whether or not he gets referred, they at least need to make a reference to Nomad, just for the old heads.
Yep.
Just to let the old folks know, hey, yeah, we see you. We know y'all are still out there.
So what is a absolutely goofy villain from the comics that you wish that you could see for a hot minute in an MCU movie?
The most ridiculous villain that defies all known laws of physics and mechanical engineering, that I love to my very core, is Stiltman. I mean, where do the stilts freaking go when he doesn't expand them? He makes no sense.
Nothing telescopes that far. Yeah.
Exactly. He makes no sense whatsoever. And I love that about him. Yeah. That's why I like that character, because it's so ridiculously stupid. If you think about what he's actually doing, if you think about it logically, it does not work on any level.
The character that leapt to mind for me to answer that question, do you remember the Blue Streak?
Yep.
It's a dude who looks like a Cobra action figure met with somebody from the Death Star. And he's all blue. He's on roller skates that are rocket powered. That's his criminal shtick. Rocket powered roller skates. And he fought Captain America. Oh, great times.
But yeah, I would love to see Stiltman. I mean, my God, I've got the first appearance of Stiltman, Daredevil number 8. I mean, it's just a stupid character, and I love it. God, why is my face so red? Is that this lighting? That is awful.
Maybe you need to put more serum on.
Maybe. So
that time where you got ahead.
Yeah, I got to go run an errand right quick.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us. As always, we appreciate it. It's always good to see you. We are in talks with a couple different creators, trying to get some folks to come on here, so we're looking forward to that. In the meantime, stick around. We'll see you next week. Come up to Haven. We'll see you there. Looking forward to that. Read more comics. It's good for you. Talk to y'all later.